firstborn daughters and born leaders, we all seem to be walking about dysregulated and we don't even really recognise it or know it. How the hell did that happen? We have definitely been the ones that people lean on, that people turn to, or in my case, I am the one who sticks my nose in and tries to fix everything without being invited. It's a lesson I've had to learn how to stop doing. That's what we're going to talk about today in this episode of the podcast. So if you are a new listener, welcome. If you are a return guest, no, you're not a guest, you're a listener. I say that often. Thank you for coming back. I actually have done some research for this episode, which will probably throw me a little bit because I'm not just riffing off the cuff. There will be elements of it that I do riff. So I am Jen Wilson, the Healing Rebel. I am a firstborn daughter. I am a fixer. I am somebody who definitely used to get validation from being needed all the time. And if I wasn't being needed, I made myself be needed by sticking my nose into things that I didn't need to. It's like, let me help you. Do let me help you. Does that resonate? And then are you living in what feels like high alert? You're switched on all the time. You are always looking for the threat, always looking for the danger. You struggle to relax. You think that resting or relaxing is something that you have to earn. You feel guilty for it. These are all things that I have been working on for the last 15 years, 16 years, recognising these things. And it was Brené Brown that I think was the first person that I heard talk about the big sister, the firstborn daughter being the one who's in charge, especially if there are siblings, where you're the one that they look up to, so therefore you have to behave in a particular way, or there's expectations put on you, whether that's by parents, grandparents, other family members. Even within the school system, I remember being at school, and if you were the big sister, you had to look out for your younger sibling or siblings. There's all this pressure put on you, often from a very young age. So that's when you learn, they talk about this hypnotic state that kids are in up until they're 7. And if you have had that, even subtle words, oh, you're a big girl, oh, you need to look out for, these tiny little throwaway comments are embedding beliefs into your psyche that you then play out in real life. And many of us have burned out more than once. We burn out, we come back from it, we think we've learned the lesson, we burn out again, we come back from it. It's a little bit more difficult this time. Come back from it again with the same promises, I won't do that again, until you hit, in my case, a really horrific, and it was a flare, a Crohn's disease flare, rather than a classic burnout of exhaustion, which is what some people present as, and some people it's chronic illness, some people it's cancer or some other quite alarming condition. But that last flare that I went into in 2022, it took me years to get over that. And it was definitely the wake-up call that I needed to move forward. And for whatever reason, us as a society don't like to just prevent the pain from happening. We need to experience the pain and then work our way back from it. Don't know where that comes from. Don't know why that seems to be behaviour. I, for at least the first half of my career, tried to sell prevention because prevention is better than the cure, because the cure sometimes cannot come. But it's not sellable. We don't buy into it on the most part. There may be a couple of people, and I thought I was in prevention mode, but actually I wasn't, because I was still not listening to my body. I was overriding, I was pushing through, I was using fitness as the badge of health. And being fit doesn't mean that you're healthy. being healthy means that every morning when you wake up, you feel the energy, the vitality, the enthusiasm for the day ahead. And if every morning you're waking up and you think, oh my God, I need another 10 hours sleep, I've not fully recovered from yesterday, then you're pushing too hard. You're pushing too hard. And it needs to be, okay, what things can I put down? What do I not need to keep carrying on my shoulders? Why do I think that I need to keep taking on all these responsibilities and not be able to say no to things? Because when there's an Instagram meme, something about when you say no to one thing, it allows you to say yes to the thing you actually want. That's not the actual, there's something much more eloquent, can't remember what it is. I'm sure it will come back to me in a moment. Anyway, I thought I'm going to have a wee look online because I'd definitely heard Brené Brown talk about this firstborn daughters thing, and I was like, I wonder if this is an actual thing. Turns out there is. There is a unofficial diagnosis, so it's not in the psychology and psychiatrists have a book called the DSM-5, I think it is. It's not featured in there, but it does have this title, and it's an article published in a journal. It's 2024 research in the International Journal of Creative Research Thoughts. It was titled Firstborn Daughters, Eldest Daughter Syndrome. So we're trying to pathologise like we do everything, because everything needs to be pathologised. It needs to become a thing. It needs to become a syndrome or a disorder. How about it's just a thing and we're a bit dysregulated and we want to bring that back? So caregivers, mediators, role models, responsibility. These people are generally the firstborn daughter. Not always, but generally. And burnout is super common amongst us. It's not it's not all negatives. There are positives from it. We are very resilient. We are often tenacious. We make great leaders. We make great people within the community to be able to support. I would say I'm very much a reluctant leader. I will step up if I need to, but I would rather let somebody else take the reins and I'll be the support network. That's my personality. And if I see somebody leading that's making a pure arse of it, I will step forward to be their support to try and help them. Sometimes just push them out of the way because, other costs to being that person, as aside from burnout, is the people pleasing, the guilt of saying no, the guilt of having boundaries. And there's a loss of identity in that as well. Now, there would be an argument of, well, your identity is that leader, that support, that fixer, but also the other side of that is, but what do you actually want to be saying yes to? What does your soul desire? What does your heart desire? What does your body physically need? If you are not sure whether or not you are this person, because you might be a firstborn daughter thinking, no, that's not me. Are you seen as the responsible one, but you can equally be the irresponsible one? I definitely forget things. Example, last night, Chris was at work. I was watching the dog because I'm babysitting. We are babysitting the dog this week. And I didn't realise the time in the evening. I somehow managed to lose a whole hour. When Chris came in at 8 o'clock, I was like, oh, I forgot to walk the dog at 7. So he then walked the dog. I was like, oh, I forgot. But I just completely lost track of time. Because I'm not in my own environment and everything is not on a schedule that I normally do, after I came back from working with my client, I felt lost and confused in the house. I was like, I don't really know what to do with myself. I'm out of my own routine, but there was guilt there, and I had forgotten to be that responsible one in that space. People pleasing to avoid conflict. Yeah, definitely. I have definitely and am definitely guilty of doing that. Just don't rock the boat. Let somebody say whatever it is they want to say and feel whatever it is they want to feel, and maybe don't agree with them, or you maybe want to play devil's advocate, but in order to keep the peace, you don't. Yes, I can definitely be guilty of that. If your identity is tied to being productive, achieving things, feeling needed, you're suppressing your true feelings, you stay strong for other people, you're the backbone, you never fall apart and ask for that emotional support or that emotional help. Yep, we're definitely in that category of eldest daughter syndrome. Hate that word, syndrome. And Brene Brown's thing is name it to tame it. So if you're recognizing these things about yourself and you don't acknowledge them, you don't have awareness around them, then you can't do anything about it. It then holds loads of power over you. And another quote that I wrote down here, and I didn't write who it was that had said it or wrote it. I think it came from this journal. Just because you carry it well doesn't mean it wasn't heavy. Just because you are a great leader and you are a great support and you're brilliant at fixing things and you're super efficient and all of these things, it doesn't mean that it's not a heavy load on your system. This constantly being the one who is needed and putting this pressure on yourself, and also having other people rely on you all the time, it's going to have an impact on your physical and mental well-being. Depression is high in this category of people, anxiety is high, chronic illness, autoimmune conditions, all of these things are much higher in firstborn daughters than they are in other siblings, which is very interesting. Very interesting. And when we don't have this understanding, when we don't have this knowledge, it means we can't do anything about it. So by getting that knowledge, we can start to think, right, what do I want to do about it? And Gabor Maté, very much respect a lot of his work. He, in his book, When the Body Says No, and in The Myth of Normal, he talks a lot about this, not particularly firstborn daughters, but people with these personality types of being the fixer, the helper, the leader, the responsible one. A lot of these link back to these autoimmune conditions and cancers and chronic illness. He talks a lot about that, and he has seen in his work that when people acknowledge this and then start to create the boundaries, then the symptoms of their conditions in some cases completely reverse, and in other cases just get so much better. It's very interesting, and I've been talking about this more in my work because that tends to be the type of person that comes to me for support in the reset treatments and the recalibration, the Reiki drumming. It's women who are there for everybody else, they're sorting everybody else out, and they've realised that they need to prioritise themselves. And I've got a few clients who signed up with me at the end of last year who have booked in their sessions for the year ahead. So some of them have done it bi-monthly, so every second month they're coming for a treatment. Some of them are quarterly. But they've got the dates booked in now ahead of schedule, and I had messaged them all to ask them, like, what was it that brought you to doing the full year ahead of schedule? And I should have actually have had this up and ready to quote it to you, because one of them made me really laugh. They were all very honest about their calendar, and they mean to do things. I mean, I'll take me as an example here. I was meant to get my hair cut in January. It is now the 18th of April. I have now got my appointment booked in for the 7th of May. And my hair was last cut in August. When I looked back at my messages, the 23rd of August was the last date that I had my hair cut. So that's a for example. Lots of us do it. Oh, I mean to get myself booked in for a massage. Oh, I mean to get myself booked in for whatever, and then it just doesn't happen. And let me just find this message. So one of the ladies responded to me, and her words were, because I'm a fanny and there's absolutely no chance I would follow through otherwise. And I get that. Me and Tina do a massage swap, and we always book in for the month ahead on the day that we're in seeing each other. And I have a few clients who do that. As soon as they're in for a treatment, they'll book for the month ahead. But I do have people who have a whole year booked ahead, and they just, when they come for the treatment, they are so grateful to their past self for having done this. A couple of them actually pay monthly for the treatment, which means that when they come into the treatment, to them it feels like it's free because it's already been paid up, and they don't have to then withdraw more money and have that additional exchange. So there's definitely, I would strongly recommend that whatever your thing is that you like to do to help your body find a way to rest and relax. And not everybody coming in and lying on a massage bed, that's not suitable for everybody. Some people want to go for a walk in nature. Some people want to go to a rave. Some people want to come in for a treatment. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's what's right for you and for your nervous system. What makes you feel energized? What makes you feel blissed out? What makes you go, oh, I'm so glad I did that for me. That's what we want to get to, because burnout ain't fun. And the more you get there and you hit that rock bottom and then start to come back, the harder it is each time. And a testament to that, because we are getting older, whether we like it or not. Our bodies are getting older, and that has an impact. You see like elderly relatives talking about, oh, I get a cold and I was over it in 24 hours, and now it takes a whole week to get over. That's because all your systems, as we mature, we can do all the things to make ourselves as healthy as we can. But the fact is that there are certain systems that by their nature start to down-regulate the more years you get in the tank. Let's not take that for granted. Let's do what we need to do to support the systems the way that we can, to be as well as we can, mentally, physically, spiritually. I would love to know your thoughts on this. I would love to know your experience on this. I want this to be a two-way conversation. So wherever you're listening to this, pop a comment in or let me know your thoughts. If you haven't already liked, subscribed, shared, whatever it is we need to do to help this reach further, please do. And if you know a firstborn daughter or a born leader who is heading to burnout again, then maybe drop them this episode and ask their opinion on it as well and see what their thoughts are. But I will be back with you on another episode very soon. I forgot to mention in the recording that if you want a free lymphatic drainage relaxing routine, then just check the description and the show notes and you can download yours for free today.